creepers and things that go bump in the night. Welcome back to yet another episode of Creature of the Night. I am your host, Toxin, your friendly neighborhood sinner. Hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell to let you know every time I upload so you can keep up to date with me, guys. You should know this. This one's fairly new. I can't remember if it's a 2021 or 22, but it stars Christina Ricci, and I'm speaking, of course, of Monstrous.
I think I have a demon in my house.
Going into this one, I was kind of like all over the place with it. It had me mixed emotions, but it did keep me guessing. Again, like other movies have done this in the past, but not too many, where I couldn't really call where this movie was going. Essentially, where I thought it was going, it threw me a curveball, and it like sent me into another path and turned out to be totally different. We see this young lady who's like trapped in, like, not trapped, but the time is like, I don't know, maybe the 50s. Maybe I'm like making it too older, like, you know, between the 50s and 70s, around that time, judging by the way she dressed, the car she wears, and how the people and the jobs that are going on at the time that it is. And we see her, she's essentially she's on the run from her ex-husband. We're getting the idea that he did something, like maybe he's abusive, we don't know. But when she moves into this new house with her son, things start happening. The lake starts being funny. Stuff starts coming out of the lake. The son is seeing crazy crap coming out of the lake, and it seems to be after the son. And every time he screams for his mother, you know, it's just a bad dream. It's just a bad dream until she finally comes face to face with this, what he calls beautiful or pretty woman, and it's just a skeleton covered in rags and look like she's been decaying for years. So it's weird that he was afraid of it, but then, like, as he says, after he spoke to her, he understood what was going on, and that she's now the pretty woman. So it's like, I guess, waking up and seeing what the reality is. Because then after that, he starts acting out. He keeps trying to escape. He doesn't want to be around his mother. He just wants to go to the lake. He wants to go with the pretty woman. And that's when we see this, like, her life is just going downhill from this. It's, you know, it's already going downhill because she's on the run. But, you know, she has a decent job. Her son's in school. He's healthy. She's healthy. You know, and she finally has money in her wallet. And it just seems everything's kind of looking up until this pretty woman, as he puts it, comes into their life. And, like, a total, like, 180 from what from what we initially started. He was a good kid, and then he's rebellious and wanted to leave. And as we're going on, we're starting to see that things are not, like, really adding up. Something's not quite right with the mother as far as it is. Yeah, you know, whatever's going on with the son is going on, but, like, the mother starts acting differently too. We're starting to notice people around her are acting differently. She starts drinking heavily, and again, it becomes to the point to where, like, the son is, like, trapped. Like, the mother doesn't want to let him leave, but then again, like, you're like, what the hell is going on? Why do you want to leave? Like, why does it look, and why am I getting the impression that he's a prisoner? Like, what the hell's going on here? And that's when we come to find out, like, people are starting to notice that she's acting weird. The landlord is starting to notice things around the house, and that's when we come to the conclusion that he's not really there. The son is dead, and she has made up this whole thing up in her mind. And that's when we kind of see, like, the glimpse, because we see flashbacks throughout the film of, like, water and fear of water, her son submerged in water, and it turns out, like, the dad wasn't really abusive. He just was not attentive of his son. He was watching a game, I believe they said, and the son dove into the pool, or fell into the pool, and drowned. So instead of the mother dealing with it, she kind of, like, just made up this whole facade in her head and went on the run so she can be away and be alone with her son. And I've heard this theory before too, with the people who cannot quite move on, the people who cannot grasp the fact that, you know, my loved one is finally gone and passed away, that, you know, you do do this this kind of camouflage or this kind of coping mechanism that you think that they're around. You just can't accept the fact that they're dead and moving on. And especially, you know, especially with a mother and a son relationship, like that's enough trauma for anybody out there. And then if you can recover right away from it, then something really is wrong with you. So, but I've heard the theory that, like, you know, if you go into that deep and depth of your mind that you cannot move on, it's like you're holding their spirit, them prisoner here. So that's what the whole thing was, that him trying to escape was like, he's trying to move on, he's trying to go on to the afterlife, but she can't let him because she won't let him because she cannot move on. Like it doesn't, it comes down to it. Actually, it made me tear up. It made me tear up heavily. Like I actually did cry watching to the end of this film when she's like I can't, you know, I just can't leave. Like I don't want to be alone. I can't like let you go. And he just kind of hugs his mom and says it's okay. It wasn't your fault. You know, it was an accident. You know, but you gotta let me go. It's like I'm not. You can't see, but I'm not gonna lie. I am getting water out just because like that stuff like that with anything with kids, you know, the babies, animals like getting hurt or dying or you know whatever. I that always just brings a tear to my eye in every film, and it just that's one of my triggers. It gets me. So but guys, it was heavily emotional. It kept me guessing through the entire thing. I couldn't like Monstrous and seeing them like this thing coming out of the lake. Oh man, you know, another creature horror. Was I disappointed that it really technically wasn't a creature horror because the lady actually turned out to be her grandmother who she was so in touch with and who was dressing like it, because when her dome, her reality is shattered, this dream state is shattered, like we see that the house is actually a piece of shit. It's not great like how she's picturing it. It's not the time period that she is. It's actually like 2022, and the station wagon that she has that everybody had back in the day that is actually run down and beat up and not beautiful like we all saw. So we see that she was actually kind of took over her grandmother's time and kind of took over her grandmother's life is what I got the impression, that she became her grandmother. So the pretty woman, the woman who we saw in rags and all that, like turned out to be the grandmother coming to get her grandson, you know, her great grandson coming to get him and bring him to heaven with them. And once they enter the water, you know, that's it. You kind of feel peace, and that's when, you know, reality slaps back. And it was just very touching. Again, with the whole thing with the son, the whole thing with the grandmother coming to get the grandson. It was all heart. It was definitely a tearjerker. It tugged on the old heartstrings for sure, guys. But I do highly recommend it. Where did we see it? I believe we saw it on Amazon Prime. I want to say it's always Amazon Prime or Hulu lately, and like I don't think I've really seen too much on Netflix. But yeah, guys, it gets 2 thumbs up for me, 10 out of 10. Just because, again, it threw you curveballs left and right, kept you guessing, kept me at the edge of my seat, kept me engaged, fully engaged, and it just made me want to know what the hell was going on. So yeah, guys, go check it out. Let me know what you thought about the film. Let me know what you thought about this review down in the comments. And yeah, guys, if like I always say, if you're not sinning, you're not having fun. Beware the moon, guys.